Hello and welcome back to the CyberOne training and certification program. We're in the Getting Started module, and if you're part of our certification program, this is the final training in the Getting Started segment. Today we're going to be looking at how to use the Create View option in the management platform. With this option, you can filter and sort the data that you can see in the tabs and use it to segment information on the platform. Again, if you're part of the certification program, there is an exercise at the end of this training. And if you'd like to learn more about certification, please contact your account manager or send us an email at support@cb1security.com. Okay, let's start by getting back into the management platform then. So here we are logged into the platform. And first what we're going to do is show you how we use the Create View field with an example that's already set up. So I'm going to the control library, and as you can see here, there is a view option in almost all of the tabs that we have in CyberOne, where you can actually just change the data that you see in the list view, as well as sort the further different columns of data that you wish to see as part of that view. So here, if we do a click on the drop down menu, you can see we've got different segments that you can navigate to. In the control library, you can see the CMMC controls. I started on ISO 27002, or you can default back to the all controls section. Let's go into CMMC first of all, and just show you how that works. And so if I go into the edit, we can edit this CMMC view. Here we have the name. We have different filters that we can add to sort the type of data that we will actually see, or which data that we'll see. And then finally, we can choose the fields that we actually see in the drop down in the list menu, and we can add or take those away as depending on what we want to see. So I'm going to just put that back the way it was. And then the last part is, if we want to just test the field first and see what the screen looks like, we can make this visible just to ourselves. So we can just do a test, or we can make it visible to all users. Or if we're doing a special view that we just want a group or team that we're working with to be able to see, we can also select the team members that we wish to be able to see that field, and they'll be visible to them. So I'm going to click Save and go back to list view. So here in the tab view, then you can see that we've also sorted CMMC by its different levels. If you're familiar with CMMC, you'll know that it has 5 different levels, and each of those levels has a different certification expectation. So we've got them here sorted by level 1 and level 2. Let's just see how we did that. So with level 1, we'll go into edit really fast. And there you can see that we've set it up with the name and just added a couple of very simple fields, using the content source to select CMMC controls, and then using the obligation section to select all of the controls in the obligation section level 1. We check the filter logic here. It's going to sort for both of those filters, level 1 and 2. And then we just click Save. And of course, that comes back to our level 1. So then for level 2, which includes level 1 and level 2 controls, we have a slightly more complex filtering system. So here we would go to, using our first filter, start with the content source. We're using contains, so it does a keyword search, but you do have different options here again. You can be more exact if you prefer, but this is, we generally find this to be the best way to sort data. So again, we're going to take our CMMC controls first. That's our first piece of logic. Using our obligation section, we want level 1 and level 2 controls. Now, if we check the logic here, then it's a little different. It's not 1 and 2 and 3, as you might expect, because if we put level 1, if we do level 1 and 2 and 3, what's going to happen is it's going to do a search for an obligation section that contains all of that information. What we actually want is for CMMC controls that are either have an obligation section of level 1 or an obligation of section of level 2. So when we do an OR, we can just put parentheses around the grouping that we're looking for in the OR section. So I've got 1 and then open parentheses 2 or 3. So if I wanted level 1 and 2 and 3, then I would add again OR here and put 4. Now you might be a little confused by the 2 or 3 or 4 when I'm actually looking for level 1 and 2 and 3, but the numbering here, it's important to note, refers to the filter and not the keyword search. So let's just add that here, and we're going to change this to level 3. So we'll add obligation section as another filter. We'll keep it to contains. Then we'll go level 03. And now note that actually what we're searching for is filter 1 and then either filter 2, 3 or 4. So we want everything that has filter 2, 3 or 4, level 1, 2 or 3. We've got our information here. I'll keep it visible just to me. And then I'm just going to change that title now to reflect level 3. And we'll do save. And now you'll see that we've got everything in 1 and 2 and 3. But note that what I did was I used an edit. So when I edited level 2 to make it level 3, of course it deleted level 2. So let's now go back in and add level 2. So we'll go to create new view this time instead of edit. And then let's name it. I'm going to take it back to level 2. And then let's just reapply that logic. So first we're using the content source. We're going to go to contains. I don't want a specific content source. I want everything with CMMC. And then I want the obligation section filters. So that I can get level 1 and level 2. There you go. Now let's just check my filter logic. So as you can see, it's not quite correct here. We want filter 1 and then filter 2 or filter 3. Let's add the fields that we want to see. And note how you can order the fields the way you want to see them as well. You can also do that in the screen as well, just by dragging and dropping. I'll add the obligation section and the obligation. And again, remember, if you change your mind and decide you don't want a field, you can add it or take it away. I'll make this visible to all users as well. Now I'm going to save it. And here you see we've got level 1 and 2 again. So now you can see we have level 1, 2, and 3. And if you remember, I made level 3 visible only to me. So I'm just going to go and change that now that I like it. And I'm going to make sure it's visible for everybody so that everybody in here can use it. And remember again, you've ordered the columns in the view section, but if you do change your mind, you can just drag and drop them and change them around the way you want to see them in the actual tab field as well. So there you have it. You can either just go into a filter and edit, or you can create that new view in the same way. Lots of different things that you can do to make sure you see just the data that you want to see. So that concludes the training for the view section. If you're part of the certification program, your exercise now will be to go in and create the view for level 4 and level 5 of CMMC controls. So remember, those controls will have to be 1 through 5 and or 1 through 4 and 1 through 5. So you'll have to have everything from level 1, 2, 3, 4 and everything from level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So create those views And when you create those views, just make sure you name them level 4 and level 5, and then add your name afterwards and make sure they're visible to all users so that we can see them and make sure they're correct. Okay, great. Well, that concludes the training for today. Thank you very much.